The most merciful thing in the world, I think, is the inability of the human mind to correlate all its contents. We live on a placid island of ignorance, in the midst of black seas of infinity, and it was not meant that we should voyage far. Someday, the piecing together of disassociated knowledge will open such terrifying vistas of reality and of our frightful position therein that we shall either go mad from the revelation or flee from the deadly light into the peace and safety of a new dark age. That glimpse, like all dread glimpses of truth, flashed out from an accidental piecing together of separated things. In this case, an old newspaper item and the notes of a dead professor.
As the sole heir and executor of your great-uncle, Professor Angel, widowed and childless, and as required by the American Archaeological Society, you'll have to examine his documents and to send the most important ones to the association.
All right.
I beg your pardon for all this dust. The villa hasn't been open since the funeral. It also took quite a time to find you, Mr. Wayland. Professor Angel was a renowned authority in the field of ancient inscriptions and was often consulted by directors of important museums.
All his work is right here?
Yes, all his documents, notes, archives are in these boxes. All his work and research.
What about this one?
Oh, right. This is your own spare key of this house left you by your granduncle. Here's the key of the boathouse. There should also be the box one.
It's quite a bunch of stuff.
The Archaeological Society isn't in a hurry, but I think you should start somehow or you'll never handle it all. Maybe that pile over there. It doesn't look like a lot.
All right. I hasten to bring everything to my apartment in Boston, and then I'll begin. Could you give me a hand, please?
I'm coming.
Good morning, Professor Angel. My name's Henry Wilcox. I know that you're well acquainted with my father. May I come inside? It's quite urgent. You see, the fact is, I'd quite appreciate your help in deciphering the inscriptions on this bas relief.
But this is fresh.
You see, I'm psychically hypersensitive. It is new indeed, for I made it last night in a dream of strange cities. These dreams are older than brooding Tira, or the contemplative Sphinx, or garden-girdled Babylon.
Well then, talk to me about this dream you had, Henry.
Oh. After I went to bed last night, I had this dream. A dream unprecedented. Cyclopean city of titan blocks and sky-flung monoliths, all dripping with green ooze and sinister with latent horror. Hieroglyphics had covered the walls and pillars, and from some undetermined point below had come a voice. A voice that was not a voice, but a chaotic sensation, which only fancy could transmute into sound. Cthulhu Vertagen.
Cthulhu?
I don't know how it should be written, neither if this is the exact word, but it was a sound, at the very best. An unholy sound. This morning, after I woke, I created this sculpture and wrote everything down.
I'll be damned. If it was not my old age's fault for not recognizing instantly these hieroglyphs.
Do you mean that you know what these are?
Tell me, son, by any chance have you ever heard of a certain cult, the cult of Cthulhu?
No, Professor, never heard of it before.
Nor have you ever heard of a police raid in New Orleans in November 1907, aimed at stopping strange and bloody rituals?
I shall declare my ignorance before these facts. At first I thought that I had been influenced by the news about the earthquake of yesterday night, but terror and anxiety assaulted me, and I suddenly remembered that my father mentioned you once. That's why I took your address and come here as soon as possible.
Henry, I know your father, and I promise you that I'll tell him nothing. You have my word. If you happen to be part of some strange cult, sect, or secret society...
What? With all due respect, Professor Angel, I hope you are just joking.
Don't you really know anything about this, or esotericism, or else?
Professor, I wouldn't have run here in the first place if I had known something.
You really don't know anything about any of it.
Exactly, as I've just told you.
From now on, I want you to tell me every dream you'll have in the next few days. Write them down, and bring them to me every morning.
Are you serious? Tell me then, what do these drawings mean? You're worrying me more so than before.
We'll talk about it in the following days. Now excuse me. I need to go look for some old documents.
But, Professor...
See you tomorrow, Henry.